Welcome to the 7 in 7 Together official podcast for Kevin Sinfield's M&D Challenge 2025. And I'm delighted to be welcomed by the famous journalist and my great friend, Paul Hayward, the British Sports Writer of the Year 5 times. Is that right, Paul?
Yeah, it's true. I can't deny it.
Very good.
And why should I?
Very good. And what's your background, Paul?
My background is I've been a sports journalist for about 35 years now. I had a wonderful life in newspapers, going to, the Olympic Games and World Cups and Ashes Series, football, rugby, cricket. I was lucky to be able to cover all sports in my career, and I'm still doing it. And I'm absolutely, I still have that exhilaration when I go to live sport. It's still my life. It's still my calling. And this, I should say, this week that we do every year for MND is as good as any of it.
Well, I was going to say that, really. You go to World Cups all over the world and test matches, and here you are with Kevin the team. How does that compare?
Well, I would say this is the most important thing I've ever done in my life, really, just from a personal point of view. And it combines, sport, the essence of sport, and the camaraderie between Kev and Rob Burrow, and a cause, the quest for a cure. So there's the sport at the heart of it, but it's so much bigger than that, isn't it? And it's using teamwork from sport to tackle something immense and to say to society, as Kev says, this cannot continue. There has to be a cure for MND. And for all of us to be part of a campaign and a fight to eradicate MND once and for all, I think we all feel, it's something really big for us, isn't it?
Yeah, huge. Where did you meet Kev originally?
Well, Kev maintains that. So I wrote Kev's autobiography with him, The Extra Mile, and he maintains that he saw me on a Sky football program called The Sunday Supplement, which is a bit like a seance.
Right.
Four blokes, or it used to be, four blokes sitting around a table talking about football. And he said, having seen me on that program, he said, he could do my book for me. I'd previously written autobiographies with Sir Bobby Robson and Sir Alex Ferguson, and I didn't want to write any more autobiographies. I didn't want to be a ghostwriter anymore. But when Kev asked me to write his story, I didn't hesitate for a second, because I could see I was so enamored by him as a person, but also what he was about and what he was doing in terms of trying to help Rob Burrow and taking on this mission against MND.
Fantastic. And you mentioned Sir Alex Ferguson there, and these challenges are quite tough. It's quite poignant. We're on our way to Scotland now from Cumbria. What would Sir Alex have said about these trips and his advice for ourselves on these journeys?
Oh, I think he'd have walked down the aisle of this bus and seen so many things that he liked, because his leadership and his management of Manchester United was based on togetherness and mutual reliance. His message was always that we do this together. We're unbreakable. We make sacrifices for each other. We represent a cause that's bigger than ourselves. In that case, Manchester United. In this case, a campaign against MND. So I think Kev's met Sir Alex. I think I'm right in saying so, but I know that he admires Kevin, because I've talked to him about Kev, and I think if he was sitting with us now, he would say, what he would say is he never overpraises people in it, but if he says to you, "Well done, lads," or "Well done," you've done
all right.
You've done all right. Yeah.
What about the old hairdryer treatment? Do you think he would have dished a bit of hairdryer treatment out much on these trips?
I don't think so, no, but it's funny, I talked to him about that, and he said that he used to get annoyed when people asked him about the hairdryer treatment, because he said, "Do you think I could have won 13 Premier League titles by shouting at people?"
Right.
He had the hairdryer in his armory, but it was a last resort, really. Most of all, what he made the players do, was want to please him.
Right.
And there's something of that in Kev as well, because everybody around Kev wants to meet his standards, don't they?
Yeah.
And they want to be there for him and meet the level he's at, and not let him down. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And there's a genius of leadership.
It is, and as we all know, who's on this bus now, is we'd all do anything for Kevin, and it's probably the same as Sir Alex. And also, another book you wrote was Sir Bobby Robson's, and we're in it this week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How does Sir Bobby's management style compare, you could say, to Kevin and Sir Alex's?
Well, so Bobby had this infectious enthusiasm for football and a love of football and a love of being around people. And he was fun and funny, and his energy. I mean, I remember when we were doing the book together and he'd talk about a particular player and he would jump up in the living room and he'd start making these movements, these attacking movements or defensive movements. He'd start acting out passages of play on the pitch, and he was alive every minute with football. And we go out in London and walk down the road to get a cup of tea. It would take us an hour to go 50 yards because so many people would stop it. And most celebrities go, "Hello, nice to meet you," and keep walking. He didn't do that. He stopped. And he'd have a 20-minute conversation with him and he'd say, "Have you got any kids?" And what do you do for a living? And I'd be thinking, Christ, we're never going to get to this cafe at this rate.
Yeah.
So it was lovely. He was a lovely man.
Fantastic. And we're on our way to Dundee.
Yeah.
We've been to Ipswich. We've been to some amazing sports grounds and destinations on these challenges.
Yeah.
Which would you say has been your favourite?
Well, one of the things I love about going to grounds is that every single club, big or small, high or low, has its own distinct identity. And it's brilliant for us to be able to go. We go into non-league grounds on the top of a hill, don't we? And then we go into Celtic Park or Hampden Park or Ibrox or whatever. We see all levels of sport, and you feel by doing that what sport means to people and what it does in society, the way it holds communities together, and how it kind of it represents almost like the strength of the country in many ways, the strength of society. So one of the things I've most enjoyed about these challenges is seeing sport at every level. We went to Cork, and we went to hurling, we went to Gaelic football, we went to rugby union. I mean, we saw everything. And again, in Ireland, you can see how sport is so strong at grassroots level. You can see why Irish sport,
Every half a mile?
Yeah, you can see why Irish sport overachieves because it's so strong at the community level.
Yeah. So which was your favourite ground that we've been to over the years?
Well,
I've got a bet here.
Yeah.
Go on, you go first.
Well, I'll probably change my answer every year, but because we went to Portman Road this year, I'm going to say Portman Road because of Bobby Robson.
Yeah.
And because of what he did there, building a club up from sort of a lowly state, building a club capable of winning a European title, and a club with a strong identity, a family feel. When he went there, he pretty much cleaned the toilets as part of his job. He did everything.
Right.
And a bit like Sir Alex Ferguson, really, in his days at Scotland, could run everything, wanted to run everything, built everything, and got the rewards for that. So when I went to Ipswich this week rather, I could feel Bobby Robson's spirit, and that was lovely.
Fantastic. Well, what I was going to say was it West Glasgow Cricket Club?
Oh yeah. The
which was the first.
yeah.
Go on, you'll tell me because obviously you're the journo, but that was very special, wasn't it?
It was the West of Scotland Cricket Ground, which just looks like any other cricket ground now, surrounded by quite nice houses in a suburb of Glasgow. But it was actually the scene in 1872 of the first ever international football match. Not just the first England-Scotland game, but the first ever international football match. So we're sitting on this bus watching the draw for the 2026 World Cup. International football started on that modest pitch in Glasgow.
Amazing.
153 years ago. So that was quite moving for me because I wrote a biography of the England football team, and that's where the story starts.
There you go.
Yeah.
So who won, you or me?
Well, I think I like being on this side.
Yeah, good. Well, on that theme, in terms of these challenges, we go to some really amazing places and we touch every single area of the British Isles and Ireland and all the different communities. If we were to go to just have one day anywhere in the world for Kevin to do one of his challenges, where would you like that to go to?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, it would have to be somewhere warm and sunny, I think. Like,
this winter day we have it here.
like Portugal or something like that.
Yeah.
Does it have to be in the UK, my answer?
No, worldwide.
Oh, well. I think the trouble is with these. It's not the trouble with these challenges, but these challenges belong here in a way because they're so rooted, aren't they, in British sport and our society, and so even though I get cold and wet every year, and I'm glad to get cold and wet, and let's keep it here. Let's not go to Portugal.
All right, okay. So we're not going to Jamaica or anywhere like that. We're going to keep it in the roots of the community, the UK.
Well, we could have a vote on it if you like.
Yeah. And in terms of, we've been very lucky, haven't we? And privileged. And it's been a great honour to be joined by some really fantastic personalities from sport and other walks of life. Who's been your favourite?
Again, maybe I've got a short memory, but I really enjoyed Jess Ennis-Hill joining us in Sheffield. Sheffield is a great sporting city, Joe Root, Jess Ennis-Hill, Seb Coe. People forget that Seb Coe was a Sheffield athlete, and it's an amazing city for sport. And Jess Ennis-Hill was pretty much the standout star of London 2012. I was there that night when she won the heptathlon gold medal, and she represents everything that's good about sport in many ways. And she turned up and she was so positive and so healthy and so, eager to be part of it.
She brought a fabulous energy, didn't she?
Yeah, wasn't it refreshing to have her alongside you?
So in terms of, if we could wave a wand and say, just to join us for a leg of one of the challenges, who would you like?
Do you know,
Worldwide.
This is going to surprise you. I'm going to say the health minister. Because if the health minister came out and ran a leg of one of these challenges, you wouldn't be begging for money for MND research anymore. If the health minister could see what these challenges generate and could see the togetherness of the MND community and wanting to find a cure, I think the money would pour in because the conscience would be punctured.
Yeah, and something what you're fantastic at is every time we stop, you're speaking to different members of the community with their background with MND, and it's so inspiring, isn't it? And very emotional, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's two things at once, isn't it? It's intensely sad, but it's also inspirational because, you hear people's stories and you feel that tear swell in your eye and you feel your heart breaking a little bit. And then everybody starts looking after each other and geeing each other up, and the determination returns, and everybody gets a smile back on their face, and everybody realizes that they're all in it together. So it's a strange mixture of emotions, but it's very powerful.
Yeah, it's a very careful balance, isn't it, though? Yeah. We need to show love, emotion, support, and that we care. Yeah. But then seconds later, we're banging the drum, off we go again.
Yeah.
And we don't want to show that we are not listening and not caring. It's just getting that balance right, which is tough, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose in the end, it's about defiance, isn't it? You acknowledge what people are going through and the sad stories, and then you say, as Kev says so brilliantly, right, now let's go and do something about it.
Yeah,
let's go and put this right as much as we can.
Yeah, and that, with Kevin as well, is not only is he physically shattered, but he is on an absolute emotional roller coaster, isn't he? In terms of soaking up so much emotion from everyone's M&D journey.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of looking after everybody in the team. He's looking after the people at the stops. He's looking after the fundraising cause, and that's a big burden to carry while running 7 ultra marathons in 7 consecutive days. So he makes it. He's so accomplished and he's so graceful with it all. You can't see the strain sometimes, but we all look at him and think, wow, that is a lot to take on, and he does it.
And I think and we're on the 6th challenge now, day 4, day 5. I think this is the strongest I've ever seen him.
Yeah,
he's looking like a thoroughbred racehorse, isn't he?
Yeah, he looks like a kind of Olympic runner. He got himself in fabulous shape this time round, possibly, I guess, because he had an injury last year, which was a complete accident, wasn't anything to do with him. And I guess it was so hard for him last year that he made extra sure that he was going to be in peak condition this time round, and it's really is played to his advantage, hasn't it?
It sounds great. So last 2 questions.
Yeah.
Here we go. What's been your favourite moment of this challenge? Any challenge that we've done so far?
Well, I'm not going to say us going to Brighton, which is kind of my neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Although that went incredibly well. Do you remember that lovely sunny day on the seafront when everyone's running and cycling along the seafront, and the weather worked, the people turned out. I was very proud of Brighton because we don't do many challenges in the south. So for Brighton to respond the way that it did and give you lovely weather was really nice. I still always used to say that my favorite individual kind of image was when we ran into York that day, and it was very Christmassy and twinkly.
Unbelievable.
And there was this kind of euphoria in the crowd, wasn't there? Everyone was kind of delirious with
So tight on the streets. It was so Christmassy.
yeah.
I remember riding through that. It was like going up the Alpe d'Huez.
It was. Yeah, you were riding through what's it called? The coals or whatever it's called? Or
The shambles.
the shambles, yeah.
Yeah.
The coals.
Shambles on the shambles we were on. All right, very good.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
and that positivity from the crowd was so lovely, and I thought this is really what it's all about.
It is. And then last question is, what's been your favourite music moments from the trip?
Well, I'm still waiting for you to play. When we were in Sussex, did you play Sussex by the Sea?
No, I didn't.
No, that's my fault. I should have told you to do it.
Right, okay.
Because if you'd gone through Brighton, as Sussex by the Sea blaring, every house would have emptied. People have been on the streets. Have you heard it?
No, I will have to listen.
So anyway, when we've done this, I'll play Sussex by the Sea to you.
Well, you can sing it to me. But we haven't played that, so
I'll put it on your list. And I guess
I love getting feedback about the music. Because whatever I play is wrong.
well, don't worry. There's no reason for you.
There must have been an image when we played some music where you think, that's touched me.
Yeah, I'm not stealing from James, but I'm copying James when I say that whenever you play You'll Never Walk Alone, it does something to me because I've heard it countless times at Anfield and other places, and it's always moving. But there's something about on these challenges when you play You'll Never Walk Alone, it just seems to fit so well, and it makes you want to stop for a moment and think about the sadness of it. Then it makes you want to get on there and keep going, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's a perfect fit for the challenge, isn't it? And for ourselves, the MND community, we're there with them, and they should hopefully never walk alone. As I saw,
Beautiful soul.
it is. And on that moment, Paul, thank you very much.
Thank you, Martin. Do you want to stay in that role now?
Ah, good. That's me done. One and done.
I see.
Thank you.
One cap wonder.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.